Never answer this question from a woman, psychology tricks. The most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. Peter Drucker. There's one line that makes a lot of men tighten up. So, what are we? Heart rate jumps. Mind races. Words spill out you don't even believe. Here's the real play. That question isn't mostly about labels. It's a read on your frame, your steadiness, your pace, your ability to lead the moment without getting led by it. In that instant, she's not just asking for a status update. She's watching to see whether you keep your center. Do you set the tempo or hand it over? A grounded man doesn't rush to define. He stays calm, acknowledges the bond, and guides the conversation instead of grabbing a title to feel safe. That's confidence. That's poise. And yes, that's attractive. In the video, I'll show you why answering it head on usually backfires and how to pivot with clarity and leadership so the moment deepens her interest rather than drains it. 1. This question isn't about the answer, it's about testing you. A wise man understands that not every question a woman asks deserves an answer, especially the dangerous ones that sound innocent. When she tilts her head, locks eyes with you, and softly drops the question, so, what are we? That's not curiosity, it's a psychological test. Don't fall for it. That question isn't about defining your relationship, it's about defining you. She's not looking for clarity, she's looking for composure. She's studying your energy, your psychology under pressure, your calm when emotions swirl. This is female psychology at work, one of those subtle psychology tricks that separates the grounded man from the needy one. She's quietly scanning for weakness, watching how you breathe, how fast you answer, how much validation you crave. If you rush to say, well, I think we're together, right? Congratulations, you've just handed over your power on a silver platter. She may smile, but trust me, that's not admiration behind her eyes. It's a silent score deduction. Attraction fades faster than you think when a man shows he needs approval to feel worthy. Don't be that man. Be steady. Be composed. Be the kind of man who doesn't seek a title to feel confident, because confidence isn't declared, it's sensed. Remember, women don't fall for words. They fall for energy. That's the essence of how to fall in love from her side. It's not logic, it's emotion, it's instinct. The secret? Don't react. Lead. Keep eye contact. Hold that smirk like a man who knows exactly who he is. Say, that's an interesting question. What made you think about that? And just like that, you flip the frame. She's explaining herself while you stay unshaken. You're no longer being tested, you're grading the test. That's the power of understanding female psychology and mastering the subtle psychology tricks that make attraction effortless. The truth is, women respect the man who remains the calm in their emotional storm, the one who doesn't crumble when tension rises, the one who doesn't beg for reassurance. Don't chase, don't explain, don't panic, because the moment you do, you stop being the prize. Remember this. Women don't admire men who answer every question. They admire men who understand which ones not to answer. That's confidence. That's leadership. That's how to fall in love without even trying, by letting your presence speak louder than your words. So when she asks, what are we? Smile. Don't play defense. Play control. Because that's not a question, it's a mirror. And what she really wants to see in that reflection is a man who knows his worth without needing her to confirm it. 2. It's a test of emotional power. Every relationship carries a quiet, invisible balance, a tug of war of emotional power. One person feels more. One worries more. One fears losing more. And that person? He holds less power. Women sense this instantly. They're emotional radars. They can feel who's calm and who's clinging, who's leading emotionally and who's chasing. So when she asks, what are we? It's not small talk. It's a psychological test. She's not asking for a label. She's scanning your composure. She wants to see, are you centered? Are you grounded? Or are you desperate to please? If you rush to define it, to prove your affection, you've already failed the test. You just handed her the emotional steering wheel. You gave her control, not because she took it, but because you gave it away. A high-value man doesn't do that. He stays composed, calm, centered. He looks her in the eye and says, I think that depends on how we both feel. That single sentence speaks volumes. It says, I'm not chasing. I'm not begging. I'm present, but I'm not needy. That's masculine energy in motion. Quiet confidence. Emotional self-control. A woman doesn't want a man who controls her, but she's magnetically, almost biologically, drawn to a man who can control himself. Because emotional control equals safety. It signals leadership, strength, and certainty, the kind every woman craves but few find. Think about the greats: James Bond, Steve McQueen, George Clooney in his prime. They rarely spoke much. They didn't explain or overpromise. Every look, every slow breath, every still moment said one powerful truth: I'm in control of myself, my emotions, and my world. That's masculine energy in its purest form, the opposite of emotional chaos. That's what it means to attract women without even trying. Don't get it twisted. Women love kind men. But kindness without strength? That's not attraction, that's comfort. And comfort rarely keeps desire alive. So the next time she asks, what are we? Don't treat it as a romantic cue. Treat it as a mirror, a reflection of your inner state. Your reaction will reveal everything about your confidence, your emotional balance, your masculine core. If you flinch, she'll feel it. If you panic, she'll pull away. But if you breathe, hold eye contact, and let silence do the talking, she'll lean in. Because the truth is simple: a woman may love a gentle heart, but she'll only respect and desire the man who leads emotionally, the man who's unshakable in his frame. So, don't be the man who scrambles for reassurance. Be the man who radiates certainty. Don't chase validation. Be validation. That is the essence of being a high-value man, calm under pressure, anchored in purpose, alive with masculine energy. Remember this. Your words may impress her, but your composure? That's what makes her fall. If you found this eye-opening, hit like, share it with a man who needs to hear this, and subscribe for more powerful mindset insights. Comment to remember, I control my emotions, not the situation. Drop that in the comments to remind yourself that emotional strength is real power. 3. The question reveals her need for certainty. When a woman looks at you and asks, what are we? Understand this. She's not asking for a label. She's testing your emotional backbone. That question isn't about words. It's about certainty. It's about her instinctive need to know if she's safe. Every woman, no matter how independent she appears, craves emotional grounding. But here's the ancient truth that most men forget. The more certainty she feels, the less desire she experiences. The flame of attraction burns not in comfort, but in curiosity. Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Apply that wisdom here. Your mind is your fortress. Your emotions are your weapons. Your calm is your edge. Don't surrender that power by rushing to define the relationship. That's not leadership. That's neediness disguised as reassurance. A woman's attraction isn't fueled by answers. It's ignited by presence. When you tell her, yes, of course we're together, you hand her the script. The mystery dies. The chase ends. The story loses tension. But when you say, with steady eyes and calm certainty, I like where this is going. Let's see where it takes us, you reclaim your throne. You stand as the man of old Stoic wisdom, firm, grounded, and unshaken. You communicate confidence not through promises, but through composure. Remember, women don't want to control you. They want to feel your strength. They want a sense that you can hold the frame no matter how emotionally charged the moment becomes. That's Stoicism in action. That's how you win. Stoicism win, iron mind win. Let this truth sink in deep. Desire thrives in tension. Attraction grows in the unknown. Certainty kills excitement. The modern man, surrounded by a culture of oversharing and instant validation, forgets that silence and restraint are power. You must master the art of emotional stillness. Don't explain. Don't justify. Don't chase. A Stoic man doesn't react. He observes. He remains composed while others seek reassurance. Epictetus once said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In love, as in life, this is everything. When she tests you, and she will, she's not trying to destroy you. She's testing to see if you can lead. She's testing to see if your emotions rule you or if you rule them. That's where the true iron mind is forged. In the world of men and women, emotional mastery separates the kings from the commoners. The man who needs approval, who seeks validation, who rushes to please, he gives away his power piece by piece. Don't do that. Hold your ground. Be the storm that doesn't flinch when the wind howls. Be the calm in the chaos. Women fall not for words, but for the man who controls his world. Old Stoic wisdom teaches that power lies in restraint. You don't need to declare what you are. You need to embody it. When you act from strength, the world and she will know. You don't tell a woman you're confident. You show it through silence, purpose, and self-command. So when that question comes, what are we? Don't let insecurity answer. Let your discipline speak. Look her in the eye, smile, and say, let's enjoy what we have. Let's see how this grows. That is not avoidance. That is dominance with grace. That's control with warmth. You're not playing games. You're mastering psychology. You're reminding her that your life doesn't orbit hers. It expands alongside hers. That's the balance women crave. Safety wrapped in mystery. Strength with compassion. You must live this truth daily. Build an iron mind that no emotional storm can break. Practice patience. Embrace stillness. Let your actions prove your intent. The man who embodies Stoicism doesn't beg for certainty. He creates it within himself. In modern life, where emotional weakness is mistaken for honesty and constant reassurance for love, be different. Be rare. Be unshakable. As Seneca said, he who is brave is free. So be brave enough to withhold the easy answer. Be strong enough to carry silence. Be wise enough to let her curiosity work in your favor. Don't explain your value. Demonstrate it through your presence. Let your energy do the talking. Because women don't fall for the man who needs them. They fall for the man who doesn't flinch when they test him. That's how attraction survives. That's how respect is built. And that's how the iron mind wins again and again. 4. Women are not attracted to emotional weakness. Let's make one thing clear, gentlemen. Women are not attracted to emotional weakness. Not today. Not ever. A man who crumbles the moment things get tough doesn't trigger desire. He triggers motherly pity. And trust me, that's not where you want to be. Don't be the man who constantly seeks validation, begging to be called boyfriend, like a lost puppy waiting for permission to exist. Be the man whose silence says more than 1,000 needy texts. Because here's the truth about female psychology. Women are instinctively drawn to calm confidence, that quiet strength that whispers, I'm whole without you, but I choose you because you matter. That's the core of attraction. That's where psychology tricks become natural instinct. When you rush to say, yes, of course we're in a relationship, you're my everything, it sounds romantic in your head, but what she hears is fear, fear of loss, fear of rejection, fear of being alone. And nothing kills attraction faster than fear. Women smell insecurity the way sharks smell blood. Their intuition, that deep, emotional radar built by thousands of years of evolution, detects every ounce of uncertainty before you even open your mouth. That's the essence of female psychology. She doesn't just hear your words, she feels your energy. So if your tone screams, please don't leave me, you've already lost. Why? Because she can't respect a man who doesn't even respect himself. Be the rock in the storm. Be the calm in the chaos. Be the man whose stability draws her in when the world shakes. Don't explain your worth. Live it. Don't chase love. Attract it. That is what separates a boy from a man. And here's the twist. Women don't test you because they enjoy playing games. They test you to see if your emotions can handle the weight of hers. Every "what are we" isn't a trap. It's an emotional X-ray. She's not trying to annoy you. She's trying to see if you'll stand firm when her emotions swing. That's one of the oldest psychology tricks in the book. She pushes not to push you away, but to see if you'll stay grounded. When she throws that question, "What are we?" at you, don't panic. Don't rush to patch her feelings with desperate promises. Take a breath. Look her in the eye. Smile. That is your moment to prove you're unshakable. A strong man doesn't fear losing a woman because he knows no woman truly leaves a man who knows his value. Remember, attraction isn't about perfection, it's about perception. When your presence says, I'm centered, I'm focused, I'm not ruled by emotion, she feels something primal. That's the magic of how to fall in love without even trying. You must become the man who doesn't chase love, but becomes love itself through action, purpose, and peace. Don't let insecurity be your language. Speak with silence, strength, and certainty. Because when a woman feels safe in your confidence, she won't want to test you, she'll want to stand beside you. And that, my friend, is the psychology of attraction at its purest form. If this message hit you deep, prove it. Like, share, and drop this in the comments to remember. A real man doesn't chase love, he attracts it through strength and self respect. 5. High value men put self before a relationship. Listen carefully. A woman doesn't want to be her whole life. She wants to be part of a life that's already bigger than her. That's the truth most men miss. The weak man's trap. Weak men orbit around women. They abandon their dreams the moment love arrives. They cancel plans, ditch their passions, and make her their entire universe. And at first, she might smile. She might say, "You're so sweet." But deep down, she's losing respect for you. Because no woman wants to be the sun in a man's empty sky. The strong man's way. Strong men, high-value men, revolve around a mission. Their lives are already in motion. They have purpose, direction, drive. They build, they create, they conquer. And the woman? She's drawn into that orbit willingly. That's what masculine energy looks like in motion, quiet confidence that doesn't need permission to lead. You see, it's not about money or fame. It's about direction. It's about knowing who you are, where you're going, and refusing to lose that compass for anyone. She can feel it. Women have radar for energy. She knows when a man is driven. She feels it when you stay late working on your goals. She might tease you for it. You're obsessed with that project. But inside, something deeper stirs. She's thinking, this man has gravity. That's masculine energy she can trust. That's what keeps her respect alive. The flip side, the moment you make her the center of your existence, everything changes. She feels smothered, not special. Pressured, not desired. Because no woman wants to be the only reason you wake up in the morning. She wants to join a man who's already awake. Let me put it this way. One man says, "You're my whole world." The other says, "You make my world better." The first one sounds romantic. The second one sounds powerful. Which one do you think she'll choose? Every time, the second. Because love born from abundance is magnetic. Love born from desperation is repulsive. A high-value man doesn't beg for affection, he inspires it. He doesn't chase women, he attracts women through who he becomes. When she asks, "What are we?" Don't panic. Don't overthink. Understand the hidden meaning. She's not only asking about the relationship. She's asking a far deeper question. Is this a man I can trust to lead himself and maybe lead us? That's the real test. And your answer doesn't come in words, it comes in your actions. Be that man. The man with direction, discipline, and depth. The man who knows his worth and protects his mission. The man who builds a life so magnetic that love has no choice but to chase him. Don't hand over your power. Don't abandon your mission for comfort. Don't lose your edge for validation. That's not love, that's surrender. Be the man who wakes up with fire in his soul and clarity in his mind. Be the man whose presence commands respect. Be the man whose masculine energy shapes his destiny. Because when you put self before relationship, you become the kind of man women respect, desire, and stay loyal to, not because they complete you, but because they see you're already complete. 6. Silence is sometimes the most powerful response. Silence. The Old Stoic wisdom teaches that silence is not emptiness, it is control, it is power, it is mastery. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Most men today have forgotten this. They talk too much, explain too much, justify too much. They fear silence because they fear themselves. But silence, that still, unshakable pause, is the weapon of the man with the iron mind. It's how Stoicism wins. When she asks, "What are we?" your heart might race, your instinct might scream to answer, to please, to explain. Don't. Breathe. Hold your ground. Look her calmly in the eye and say, "That's an interesting question. Why do you ask?" That's it. That's the moment where boys break and men rise. Because silence backed by confidence speaks louder than 1,000 words. In that pause, she feels your presence, steady, calm, certain. It tells her that you don't need to fill the air to prove your worth. You don't chase approval. You don't negotiate your value. You embody it. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior, said Confucius. Silence is the battlefield where self-mastery is tested. The weak man fidgets. The strong man observes. The old Stoic wisdom whispers, "Control your tongue, control your world." Let her emotions unfold. Let her words flow. Don't rush to fill the space, because silence is not weakness, it is command. The man with an iron mind doesn't react. He responds. Slowly, deliberately, with intent. That's Stoicism win, the art of ruling your impulses instead of being ruled by them. In modern life, distractions make men restless. Phones buzz, conversations overlap, everyone is shouting to be heard, but few are listening. Be different. Be still. Let your silence cut through the noise like a sword. When you stay composed, when you choose words with precision, you become the calm in the chaos. That calmness is rare. That calmness is power. The right word may be effective, said Mark Twain, but no word was ever as effective as a rightly timed pause. The pause commands attention. It forces others to lean in. It tells the world that you're not seeking validation. You already have it within. Silence is not passive, it's active control. It's how you lead a room, how you own a conversation, how you win without shouting. A man who speaks only when necessary radiates strength. A man who can endure silence without flinching earns respect. You must practice this discipline daily in conflict, in business, in relationships. Don't rush to respond. Don't try to fill the gap. Let silence work for you. Let it build gravity around your presence. When you speak less, your words gain more weight. When you move less, your actions carry more force. That is Stoicism win. That is the path to the iron mind. In relationships, women subconsciously test for emotional control. They want to feel your steadiness when emotions rise. They don't want words, they want presence. Don't talk to prove your worth. Show it through your energy, through composure, through patience. When she vents, listen. When she challenges, stay calm. When she goes silent, don't panic. Mirror her stillness. That's how real men lead, by example, not by explanation. The man who can sit in silence without fear has already mastered the game. Remember, silence is not retreat. It's your psychological shield. Your power lies not in the noise you make, but in the calm you project. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends, said Martin Luther King Jr., but your silence is not the silence of fear, it's the silence of command. The silence that makes others feel your strength before you even speak. Embrace it. Practice it. Live it. Don't let emotions drive your tongue. Let discipline rule your words. That is how you forge the iron mind, through restraint, awareness, and deliberate action. Old Stoic wisdom wasn't written for the weak. It was built for warriors of the mind. So, master your silence. Own your pauses. Dominate with calm. Because in the noise of modern life, the man who can stay silent wins. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us. Or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. 7. Real men don't prove love, they show it. Listen, here's a truth most men never really get until life teaches it the hard way. Love isn't something you perform, it's something you live. You don't need to announce it, over-explain it, or tattoo it into every text message you send. Real love doesn't beg for attention, it commands respect through quiet consistency. Weak men chase validation. They think if they say, "I love you" enough times, or send enough heart emojis, she'll believe it. But women are not impressed by declarations, they're moved by demonstration. That's female psychology at its finest. She doesn't fall for your words, she falls for the pattern of your behavior. That's one of the oldest psychology tricks, and if you understand female psychology, you'll realize this. Women trust what they feel, not what they hear. Be the man who speaks little but means every word. Be the man whose actions match his promises. Be the man who stays grounded even when she's an emotional storm. That calm presence, that solid, unshaken energy, that's how to fall in love the right way. You don't chase her approval. You build her trust. Because when you stay composed, you're telling her without words, you're safe here. That's emotional safety, and that's the secret currency of attraction. When you rush to prove your love, you accidentally tell her it's fragile. You make it sound like your love depends on her reaction, and nothing turns a woman off faster than a man who seeks reassurance like a child asking for candy. Don't do it. Don't overtalk. Don't overgive. Don't let your emotions be louder than your strength. Because love isn't about how loud you can shout it, it's about how deeply you can stand in it. Imagine this. Two men say, I love you. One says it with hope in his eyes, waiting for her to say it back. The other says it with calm certainty, knowing what he feels, expecting nothing in return. Which one do you think she believes? Which one does she trust? Exactly. The second one. Every single time. Because confidence speaks louder than desire. Women don't fall for the loudest voice in the room. They fall for the man whose silence feels like safety. That's female psychology again. Subtle, powerful, undeniable. Love isn't measured in the number of I love you texts you send. It's measured in the way you listen without judgment. It's proven when you show up when you say you will. It's confirmed when you keep your word even when it's inconvenient. That's how you build both respect and attraction. That's how to fall in love and stay in love, not by chasing her approval, but by being a man she can count on. So, the next time she asks, what are we? Don't panic. Don't turn into a poet. Just be the man whose presence answers that question without a word. Because real love doesn't scream. It whispers through steady hands, calm eyes, and quiet confidence. Remember this psychology trick. Women don't want to hear how much you love them. They want to feel it through your strength. Be that man. That's how real men love, not by proving it, but by living it. 8. What are we? Appears when she feels disconnected. When a woman looks at you and asks, what are we? Don't panic, don't sigh, and don't pretend it came out of nowhere. That question is never random. It's a signal, a flare sent up from her heart saying, something feels off. She's not always asking for commitment. Most of the time, she's asking for connection. Maybe lately you've been distracted, buried in work, emotionally distant, less affectionate, or simply not as playful and present as before. She feels it immediately. Women have an emotional radar sharper than any man's logic. When she senses disconnection, she doesn't always say, I miss us. Instead, she says, what are we? And that's her way of saying, do you still feel me? Here's where the difference between men becomes crystal clear. A weak man gets defensive. What do you mean? Aren't you happy? He reacts from ego, not awareness. But a high-value man, confident, calm, and grounded, responds with strength. He says, it sounds like something's been on your mind. Tell me what's been bothering you. That's masculine energy in action. That's emotional leadership. When you shift from defending yourself to truly understanding her, everything changes. She starts to feel seen, heard, and emotionally safe again. And when a woman feels emotionally safe, she softens. She reconnects. She opens up. Most men don't realize this. Women test you not to push you away, but to feel you again. When she senses distance, she creates emotional tension to see how you will respond. If you collapse, argue, or withdraw, you only confirm her fear that you're disconnected. But if you stay composed, steady, and present, she feels your strength. And that strength attracts women more than anything else. It's not about big gestures or smooth lines. It's about the quiet confidence of a man who knows himself, who leads with empathy, and who doesn't let emotion shake his center. What are we is rarely about relationship status. It's about emotional security. It's her way of asking, do you still see me? Do you still feel this? The truth is, your answer doesn't have to come in words. It's revealed through your energy, your patience, your tone, your presence. Look her in the eyes. Put down your phone. Listen. Be there fully. That's what real connection looks like. So don't fear the question. Welcome it. Because that question gives you a chance to step up, to lead, to show that you're not a boy running from emotions. You're a man who can handle them. That's how a high value man stands out. That's how masculine energy attracts women naturally, effortlessly, without trying to prove anything. Remember this: what are we isn't the enemy. Disconnection is. Reconnection happens when you listen instead of defend, when you lean in instead of pull away. That's the power of presence. That's the strength of a man who knows his worth. Be that man, grounded, strong, and emotionally intelligent. Be the man she doesn't have to chase clarity from. Because when you embody that kind of masculine energy, she already knows what you are, her safe place. If you understand this, you're already different from most men. You don't react with ego, you respond with strength, calm, and presence. Comment below, I choose understanding over ego. 9. Respond with curiosity, not defense. Don't react. Respond. When a woman asks, what are we? Most men panic, defend, or retreat. That's the moment where weak men lose power and strong men rise. The man with the iron mind never flinches. He breathes. He stays calm. He becomes curious, not defensive. That's old Stoic wisdom. Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. A high-value man lives that truth. He knows that control is not about dominating others, but mastering himself. So, when she throws that emotional curveball, don't dodge it and don't swing wildly. Smile. Hold your ground. Ask, that's a fair question. What makes you ask that? Or, I like what we have. What do you want it to be? These words are more than sentences. They're shields and swords. They disarm emotion and restore balance. They signal confidence, depth, and masculine composure. You're not avoiding the question, you're guiding the conversation. That's Stoicism win. That's how the modern man wins without fighting. You're leading with presence, not pressure. You're showing that emotional chaos doesn't shake your core. In that instant, she feels your strength. She feels your grounded energy. You become the calm in her storm. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior, said Confucius. Be that warrior. Let curiosity replace fear. Let leadership replace reaction. Don't seek to impress, seek to understand. Most women don't want an instant label. They want emotional clarity. They want to feel that the man beside them is strong enough to face uncertainty with grace. That's the lesson of old Stoic wisdom, to rule your emotions, not let them rule you. In today's world of instant gratification and emotional overexposure, composure is rare. Control is sexy. Calm is power. When you don't rush to answer, you reclaim the frame. You remind both of you that you are the man who leads with patience and purpose. You must master this. Never let temporary emotion destroy lasting respect. Don't argue. Don't explain. Just stay centered. That's the iron mind at work. It's not about outsmarting her. It's about outlasting the emotional storm. It's about winning the psychological battle by refusing to play emotional ping pong. So the next time she tests your composure, thank her silently. It's not an attack. It's an opportunity. A test of your Stoic training. When you respond with curiosity, you don't just handle her, you elevate her. You help her find peace through your calm. You turn uncertainty into trust. You turn tension into connection. And in doing so, you embody the essence of Stoicism win, the victory of mind over impulse. Remember, a true man doesn't seek validation. He radiates certainty. He stands firm, like an oak in the wind. He listens more than he speaks. He leads through presence, not promises. That's how you win in love, in life, and in yourself. That's how you master the art of masculine psychology. That's how you rise above the noise, by owning your emotions, guarding your peace, and responding with the strength of an iron mind. 10. Don't answer, lead. Here's the deal, gentlemen. When a woman asks, what are we? Don't rush to answer. Don't grab that bait. Don't play defense. Lead. That's the psychology trick that separates men who react from men who inspire. See, in female psychology, that question isn't really about the words. It's about emotion. She's not looking for a label, she's looking for direction. She wants to feel that she's safe with a man who knows where he's going. Women don't fall for titles, they fall for energy, confidence, clarity, vision. That's how to fall in love, not by talking it into existence, but by embodying it. Don't misunderstand. Leadership in love doesn't mean control. It means emotional mastery. It's about being the calm in her storm, the rock she can lean on when emotions swirl. When you lead with presence, when your energy says, "I've got this," she relaxes into her femininity. That's one of the oldest psychology tricks in the book. Because women don't want to be the emotional captain, they want to trust the man who is. Be that man. So when she asks, "What are we?" look her in the eye, smile softly, and say something like, "I like what we have. Let's let it grow naturally. No rush, no pressure. I want this to evolve the right way." That's not avoidance. That's leadership. That's you steering the ship with calm confidence. You're showing her that you're not lost. You're not confused. You're certain of your path, and that certainty is magnetic. You're not defining the relationship with words. You're defining it with direction. That's how to fall in love, through the unspoken, through the energy you project when you don't chase validation, through the stillness you hold when she tests you with uncertainty. Because make no mistake, she will test you. That's part of female psychology, to check if your center holds when emotions rise. Most men crack. They explain. They overtalk. They beg for peace. Don't. Be the calm. Be the clarity. That's what she's searching for, even when she doesn't realize it. So don't panic. Don't define. Don't explain. Lead. Through your stillness. Through your certainty. Through your direction. Be that steady masculine presence that doesn't crumble when questioned. The moment you answer too quickly, you surrender the energy. The moment you try to justify, you lose authority. The man she falls for is not the one who reacts, it's the one who guides. Remember this. Boys chase validation, men project value. Boys define love with words, men define it with actions. Boys try to convince, men simply lead. That's the secret psychology trick behind attraction, the art of guiding emotion rather than drowning in it. You must own your direction. You must radiate assurance. That's what tells her, without a single label, "You're safe with me. I know where I'm going." That's the real game, gentlemen. Never answer the question, lead it. So now you know, brother. When she asks, "What are we?" don't panic and don't try to prove yourself, just lead. Remember, being calm isn't weakness, it's power under control. The man who stays grounded when emotions rise is the man every woman feels safe around. My advice? Don't rush to define things, build them. Be the man who moves with purpose, not pressure. The kind of man who doesn't chase love, but attracts it naturally. Thanks for watching, my friend. If this message spoke to you, subscribe, comment, "I lead," and share it with another man who needs to hear it. This channel isn't about tricks or games. It's about mastering your mind, your emotions, and becoming the man you were born to be. Stay strong, stay grounded, and I'll see you in the next one.